Do you know the history between Ebomisi and Obonenya? In 15th century, during the reign of Obaeware Ogidigan I, Benin witnessed an era of mysticism because there were many tough medicine men in the kingdom like Emuefuhi, Ovatofigeduma, Obonenya, Ebomisi, Ohwae of Ikwe, Ezeluga of Ilobi, Ezuku of Ogan, or Avan of Iriri, to name a few. But our focus today is on two personages, Ebomisi and Obonenya. Among these great men was Ebomisi. Ebomisi was from Unwa community in Benin, but later he migrated to Ugoneki. Ebomisi was a hard nut to crack among other medicine men. He was so tough that he was said to have been born with a spiritual god to life, a calabash-looking god. Ebomisi was a born medicine man. He understood the act of magic and the act of divining. Ebomisi grew bigger. At this place, he migrated to Ugoneki. He was feared among other medicine men. Each year, Ebomisi will celebrate a Thanksgiving service. He carries out this service every end of the year to give thanks to God Almighty and the land and his gods for making his yearly activities a successful one. So he invites every other medicine practitioner around neighboring communities. Ebomisi was an extravagant medicine man known across all villages for his yearly festival rites. He was so tough that each year he sacrificed 7 medicine men of his kind to his deities. He didn't unalive them directly, but indirectly. I will explain how he did it. Ebomisi would set traps with his mystical power, though some claimed it were stones, but he sets this trap inside this rectangular quadrangle in his house. This quadrangle is where every invited medicine man would perform. They will have to dance, and drums will be played for them. As they danced, they hold an iron spiritual staff called Osogan in Edo language. They are to hold this Osogan and perform with it. As they dance for a few minutes, they are to place this Osogan on the ground, which is called Basogan, meaning hit the Osogan on the ground. If this Osogan refuses to stand firm on the ground, they are considered failures by Ebomisi. Ebomisi would tie them up and unalive them later to his Osun deity. Over the years, there were no medicine man that could stand this Osogan at Ebomisi's quadrangle. It became a difficult task, and all the medicine men were afraid, but they couldn't say they won't go each time Ebomisi invited them. So one year that would change everything in history came. Ebomisi invited every neighboring medicine man. He also invited this man called Obonanye or Obonenya. Some said he was an albino, so they called him Obonenya, while some said he was from Anye community. But we are sticking to Obonenya, as people popularly call him. Ebomisi was so tough, he was feared among every other medicine man. Ebomisi hated competition and he hated comparison. He hated every other person that were compared with him. He didn't want any other medicine man to equate shoulders with him. So he heard of this man called Obonenya, doing well in his own community as well. Ebomisi invited Obonenya as a co-medicine man and as a friend from another community. Obonenya accepted this request. Obonenya, knowing fully well what is to come if he goes to Ebomisi's festival, he quickly ran to his deities called Osuninyo, the 7 gods of herbs he had. Obonenya, who was also feared in his own community, pleaded with his own deity, Osuninyo, what should I do? Ebomisi invited me in his upcoming festival. If I don't go to this festival, it is a shame to my community, it's a shame upon myself, and a shame to you all. So his deities replied and they told him, you are to sacrifice a Mehi goat, a very grown and matured Mehi goat, and a cock that has spent 3 years on earth. This is what you are to sacrifice. Although they warned him that he should be very, very careful, else he will be unalive among others that are to be tied up on that very day. Obonenya quickly carried out the instructions given to him by his deities. He carried the fully bearded he-goat called Ovukonobegbo in Edo language, and he carried the Okpanogbikbiya, meaning the 3-year-old cock, and he sacrificed them to his deities. The long-awaited time came. Ebomisi and his Ewises, meaning his servants, brought out the drums and they started playing drums, waiting for other medicine men invited to come. And other women played the traditional rumba shaker called the ukuse, and the gongs were played as well. So on this great day, every medicine man that were invited fortified themselves against Ebomisi's event because the chances of living a life was very slim. So each of the medicine men performed, but they refused to stand the Osogan. Immediately, they are tied up and kept in a room called Ewedo. After that medicine man performed, it got to the turn of Obonenye. Obonenye, who was told immediately that the akase he was holding in his hand, that Obonenye, whenever you want to hit the staff on the quadrangle, don't hit it at the middle. Take it to the edge of the quadrangle where the ground is soft and hit it there. Obonenye started performing. After performing for some minutes, he hit the staff on the ground at the edge of the quadrangle, and the staff stood firm. Ebomisi got furious. He was mad, but he couldn't show it. He smiled and he sat. Obonenye was celebrated by the onlookers. Ebomisi was so embarrassed because this has never happened over the years. So Ebomisi had to applaud Obonenye. Though he was angry, he was planning and looking for another way to unalive Obonenye. Obonenye had to wait around for 7 days because this was the law that guided the festival, that whoever came out victorious will wait for 7 days after what is called Ikpolo Oguga or Ikpolegun in Edo language is done. Obonenye can leave. So Obonenye had to wait around. So the long-awaited 7 days came to an end. Obonenye was about to leave. So he told Ebomisi, "My brother, my friend, I'm about to leave." Ebomisi, who pretended to be happy, told Obonenye that he would be seeing him off. Unknowingly to Obonenye that Ebomisi had invoked his highest and most spiritual power called Ekanugbeme, more like a venomous serpent that could come out of his hand whenever he shakes a person who he is angry with. As they walked few kilometers away from the main village, Ebomisi was about to return with his AYSs and other people that followed them because they were great people. Ebomisi shook the hand of Obonenye. Immediately, the serpent came out, but the fortification Obonenye had on himself struck Ebomisi in a white fire. Ebomisi fell to the ground. His body was burnt, and his AYSs quickly rushed him. All the people around weighed, and they took the news to the village, and everybody in the whole of Edo land heard after that day. Obonenye laughed on the spot, and he said, "Who were here down here, meaning you want to test fire." Since 15th century, it became a popular parable in Benin that meaning one may have this and may not have the other, made Ebomisi to fail in defeating Obonenye. And this history between the two of them was embedded into a song which is still in use in Benin, and the song goes like this. Iye iwo ona ri wona o iye me omona ri wona ma ge Ebomisi ri Obonenye o iwo ona ri wona o ye wo me omona ri wona ma ge Ebomisi ri Obonenye o The song is long though, but I'll pause it here. The moral lesson I learned from this episode is that no one has it all. Instead of seeing others as your competitors, see them as your colleagues and people you can always learn from. Drop the moral lesson you learned from this history on the comment section. Pride goes before a fall, don't forget. I'll be happy to see them. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Facebook as well. Thank you, and see you on my next episode.